One of the things that people take issue with the WWE 2K franchise is its lack of innovation year over year, with many games in the franchise feeling too similar to the game that came before it. However, if these recent teasers from the WWE Games team are anything to go by, WWE 2K25 could end up being one of the most radically different games we've had in recent memory. We all know that something big is coming on Monday, January 27th and Tuesday, January 28th, as Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman will be revealing something WWE 2K25 related on Monday Night Raw, which will likely be the cover for the game and maybe some sort of trailer, and then WWE Games themselves will be topping off this announcement with even more information the day after. But it looks as if the WWE Games team is eager to start getting this information out into the world based on the blatant teasers they've been posting to social media. The first teaser came in the form of a video between Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio, and this clip is in many people's minds, clearly teasing the return of intergender matches to the WWE Games franchise. We can base this assumption on 3 facts, those being that the video featured a female and male superstar in the form of Rhea and Dom, the text for the video features both a male and female bathroom sign, as well as the fact that during the video, right as Rhea is about to say "into something," Dom cuts her off, telling her that this is a secret conversation. With those 3 things combined, it's pretty clear what's being talked about here, but the big question I have on my mind is how will intergender matches be implemented into the game? Realistically, I think there are only 2 different ways that the WWE Games team could implement this into WWE 2K25, and one way will have fans excited, and the other way will probably have fans disappointed. The first way that this could be implemented, and this in my opinion is the right way to implement it, and that is with full freedom across the board. Any match type, any number of players, add in as many male and female wrestlers as you want and just have fun with it. Want a 1v1 with Dom and Rhea? You can do that. Want a 3v3 with Damage Control versus The Shield? Crack on. Or want to do a 30-person Royal Rumble with 15 men and 15 women? If they implement it in this way, that would be possible. But with that being said, there is another way that they could implement this feature back into the games, and that is with some sort of limitation. Take a look at special guest referee matches, for example. That was teased as one of the big returning features to WWE 2K25, and honestly, it delivered pretty underwhelmingly, as instead of opening it up and allowing players the freedom to be the referee in any match where a referee would normally be present, it is strictly limited to just 1v1 matches, and even then, it's just normal 1v1 matches with basic rule changes. You can't special guest ref a Hell in a Cell match, or a Last Man Standing match, or any other match outside of a 1v1. Seeing the way that this was implemented into WWE 2K24 has me concerned for how intergender matches may be introduced into WWE 2K25. Will it be limited to just 1v1 matches? Will it be limited in further ways to prevent players from making certain matchups, like say for example a small woman like Liv Morgan and a big man like Bronson Reed? Or will 2K give us the full freedom to use this feature however we like? Only time will tell, but I think it's safe to keep your expectations in check before we learn more to avoid being overly disappointed if it does end up with some sort of limitation. The next teaser came in the form of another video, this time featuring Jey Uso and Liv Morgan, and in a very similar fashion to the first video, right as Jey Uso was about to reveal something about the game, he's cut off by his co-star, leaving more to be desired. In this case, the thing that Jey Uso was about to tease is this year's 2K Showcase mode, and based on the fact that Jey Uso was about to make this announcement, plus the elusive finger to the sky and drop of blood emoji used in the text for this video, I think it's pretty safe to assume that this year's showcase mode will likely feature the story of the Bloodline. It will be interesting to see how they handle a Bloodline related showcase. I've seen a few concerns online that this story is too recent to make a showcase for, as on one hand, all of the matches that will be featured are too fresh in people's minds, and on the other hand, it wouldn't give much opportunity to introduce legacy content to the game, such as classic arenas and old school models for certain wrestlers. However, I think if 2K were to think outside of the box a little bit, they could easily address these concerns by, instead of making this showcase all about Roman Reigns' bloodline and what has happened since 2020 when he returned, make it about the entire bloodline dynasty and throw it back even further in time. This would allow for matches featuring the greats such as Rocky Johnson and the Wild Samoans, which would also allow for the inclusion of characters in the game that haven't been seen in a long time. On top of that, I think it will be interesting to see how Showcase works this time around. People have been crying out for a long time that the current formula for Showcase mode just isn't all that appealing. People are bored of playing predetermined matches that they already know the outcome of, and perhaps even more so, people are sick of seeing real life footage cut up with the gameplay. If there was ever a year to reinvent the wheel and do something different, this would be the year to do that. With that in mind, a little video clip has been making the rounds online again over the last couple of days, and that is a clip that Peacock shared to their social media in the build up to Christmas 2023. This clip features a pretty wild concept for what WWE games could look like, as it shows us Sami Zayn making a decision on whether to betray Roman Reigns at the 2023 Royal Rumble event. And with the way that it's presented, it seems as if this concept could come with branching storylines, as it provides the user with the option to betray Roman Reigns or attack Kevin Owens like the rest of the bloodline intended. Now, I wouldn't say that this is actually test footage for WWE 2K25 or anything like that, but I would hope that 2K took some notes from this clip, as when it was first revealed over a year ago all the way up until today, fans have been gushing over it and saying that this is what they would want to see from a WWE Showcase mode. Just imagine how cool this would be. Branching storylines, what if scenarios instead of playing things out in the exact same way. The sky would be the limit if they were to set things up in this type of way, so here's hoping they took at least a little bit of inspiration from this clip. And the final teaser that has been released so far features WWE superstars Bianca Belair and Raquel Rodriguez. And once again, in a very similar fashion to that of the other two clips, right as Bianca is about to spill the tea and reveal something juicy, she is cut off by Raquel. The teaser seems to be pointing towards the Island of Relevancy, as not only was Bianca cut off when she was about to mention something to do with an island, but the emojis on this post also feature an island with a curious set of eyeballs looking towards it. Now, without extra context, we would probably have no idea what is being referred to here and the way it relates to WWE games. However, over the last couple of weeks, some rumours have been swirling around the internet that suggest that NBA 2K's The City may be making its way over to the WWE Games franchise in some sort of way. It would make a lot of sense if WWE 2K's version of The City ended up being the Island of Relevancy, and that may be what is being teased right here. Now personally, I have never played the NBA 2K franchise, so my knowledge of the city is limited to what I've heard from other players and what I've been able to read about it online. But from what I gather, this is a mode and feature that is exclusive to the My Player portion of the game. So, with that in mind, I think it's pretty safe to assume that if we do get something like this in the WWE 2K franchise, it will also likely be limited to this game's My Faction. That will probably really excite you if you love My Faction and really infuriate you if you hate My Faction. But as with all of the features we've discussed today, it will be interesting to see how this is implemented and how players react to it when we finally get our hands on the game. We would like to send a big thank you to our Movement VIP Club supporters, Larz, Fischer, HuskeyFunHouse, TJFrost, and all of the names you see on your screen now for making the content that we create possible. If you would like to get more out of all things related to the movement and FAM, consider joining our VIP club, links in the description down below.